Hello everybody, welcome back to Somira Wellness. My name is Jennifer Andrews. I am a life coach and a therapist, and I'm here today to talk to you about self-compassion. Did some of you go, uh-oh? So self-compassion, to understand self-compassion, let's talk for a second about compassion. So compassion is recognizing the suffering in another person. So recognizing that they're hurting and understanding that there's hurting and that our heart responds and wants to help them feel better. And compassion is knowing that the suffering that another person has, those imperfections, those flaws, it's a part of a shared human experience. We all have it. We all have imperfections. We all have suffering, and understanding that is imperative in having self-compassion. So in order to turn that compassion into self-compassion, part of it is recognizing that we deserve it. And even if you don't believe it, start practicing it. So fake it till you make it kind of attitude. First, we must mindfully accept that there's a problem, that we're hurting, that something is wrong. So acknowledging and identifying that there's pain and that we're suffering is the first step. So the second step is also knowing that you have to implement some self-compassion into your life. And part of those things are normalizing, the first step, like I said, normalizing, identifying that something is wrong. Sorry, I flipped it. Identifying something is wrong, and then normalizing it, that you are not alone, that there is suffering in this world. And the other piece of that is loving yourself, knowing that it's okay to ask for help and to be in a vulnerable situation. And then focus. So acknowledging something's happening, that we need some help, and focus on what you need to do next. So take that big breath. Tell yourself, this sucks. I am in pain. I am uncomfortable and I need some help right now. And then ask yourself, what is the next step? A part of self-compassion is implementing things into your life, like asking for help, identifying the way you talk to yourself, and helping reframe those negative thoughts in our head so it's not always criticism and negativity, because that is a big part of keeping self-compassion at bay, is being hard on ourselves and being judgmental and criticizing. And a part of having compassion for somebody else is offering support and kindness and not judging the fact that they're in that situation or that they've made a mistake or that they're not perfect. So then we need to turn that onto ourselves for self-compassion and not criticize mercilessly. I can't say that word very well, but not criticize so harshly, and to accept that we are human and making mistakes, having errors and imperfections, and struggling is a part of a shared human experience. So identify, normalize, love yourself, ask for some help, implement some regular routines where you're maybe not now during COVID, but if you're not living alone, like maybe sit next to somebody on a couch or ask somebody for a hug, or when things do open up, get a massage, maybe go for some Reiki energy healing. That kind of thing is allowing yourself to feel and to process and to work through. So self-compassion is also about not being so hard on yourself when it comes to self-care. So oftentimes we get this attitude of like, just tough it up, just work through it, just struggle through it. And then we don't remember to take care of ourselves, or we ignore that part. So taking care of ourselves is important because it makes sure that we have enough fuel in our body to keep going, fueling our soul, if you will, to make sure that we're doing okay. If you're on an airplane and it's crashing, they will tell you to put your mask on first. And the reason for that is because if you pass out, you're not able to help anybody else on that plane, including any family or loved ones. So life is the same. So when it comes to self-compassion, you have to add that self-care as a regular part of your routine. So identify that you're struggling. Normalize that you are not alone, that pain and suffering is a part of the human world, and it is not you exclusively. So by asking for help, you are showing that you are human and that you need help. And if you need to change things, stop, take a breath. What's my next step? Set some goals for yourself to get out there and get that help that you need, or to just start acknowledging that things are difficult right now, and that's okay. It's okay not to be okay. Just don't get stuck there. Okay? Good luck implementing some self-compassion into your life. And the big question you can ask yourself is, if my friend was suffering this way, what would I say to them? If my loved one was having a difficult day, what would I ask them to do, or what would I offer for them to do? You are worth it. You are just as important. Do those things for yourself as well. Take care.